So we're here with Aled from BBC Radio 1, and he was just talking about how to reach Gen Z. Yes. And it's very funny because I'm also Gen Z, so how do you reach us?
I mean, I've just done a 45-minute sessions, and I could talk about this for days. It's so hard because I think the main thing to get across is that quite often, because we're broadcast media, most people who work in media think about, I'll just take everyone. So you try and do radio for as many people as possible. And if you broadcast to everyone, you don't stand for anyone in particular. And you can get away with that when it's genre-based or mood-based station. But when it's specifically for young, there are some attributes that are really important for young people, and we hear it time and time again when we do our research, which is they want to hear themselves reflected back at them through our output. If you're even 5 years out and you're talking to a mid-20s to a late 20s audience, then they'll go, this isn't for me, and then they disconnect. So that's really hard. So really, my presentation today and the work I do at the BBC is about understanding 15 to 24-year-olds as much as we can, working out how many need states they have, and making sure that the BBC have ways of providing content for them for that. Yes. That could be podcast, it can be sleep aids at the end of the night and they want to listen to something to fall asleep. It can be music, on-demand music to work out to, but it can also be live radio and the companionship and the attributes that come with live radio.
I was actually going to ask you about music because we listen to about 4 hours every day. So how do you reach us by music?
I mean, I'd be a very rich person if I had a single answer to that. And I think there is no such thing as one group of audience. So even in 15 to 24-year-olds, you're in school, you're in university, you're working, you're a young mum. There are so many elements, and all those parts of the audience will need different things from music. You're going to get the streamers that will allow you to play a song or an album on repeat because that's what you want. You're going to have heavy music users who wants to deep dive into a genre or an artist and go down a rabbit hole. But you're also going to have a mass audience who just want companionship through the music, whether that's dance music, upbeat music, whether that's chill out music, whether that is the hits of today. And what we're doing so well in Britain with commercial as well as the BBC is supplying a live radio opportunity that meets as many of those needs as possible. So the choice is there and you don't have to go to streaming as your only route to music choice.
Absolutely. And I liked what you said about getting creative. For instance, the massive DJ hunt. Yes. And that was the second that you got like 5 minutes off air. Can you tell us a little bit about that crazy experience?
It's stupid. It is stupid. You take the radio off air and you get your biggest audience. But it was the point about doing them, and we do 2 or 3 of them a year, is, well, for fun, to bring the whole station together, but also to give people something to talk about the station. If we just play back-to-back music, there's very little for people to come into the office going, oh my God, did you hear what happened this morning on this station? So by us having relationships between presenters, having them as friends, having content that's talked up, always scaling all the way up to the big creative challenges, it means there's talkability, and it just keeps us in the public mind and the zeitgeist of popular culture.
Yeah, in the narrative. And you know what? You spoke about artists, the importance of then publishing your content and bringing their particular audience. What can you say about that? How is that important in this?
It's needed because in the years that I've been at the BBC, you've seen how the dial on the radio in the car was the main way that you consumed radio. That was the thing that sold us. You'd have to cross us to get to any other station. That's gone now with even DAB, but definitely for the connected cars. Then there was a period where we said, as long as you've got a social account, you will reach the young audiences. But now we're seeing that the algorithm is so fierce that if they're not already following you or they're not interested in live radio, you're not going to get into their feeds. So we need to be more creative about what content we have with live radio that might open us up to other fan bases on social. And artists, TV, film, superstars coming into Radio 1 is a key way of doing that.
Huge, yeah. And you also said that Gen Z likes curated material. They're used to it, right? They have gotten it since the beginning, so...
Yes. That's hard because it's about personalizing the content to them. So they think that YouTube is for them. They feel like Spotify gets them or Netflix gets them. It's obviously not. It's obviously huge, vast libraries, and it's the personalization of that content that makes young people feel, oh, speaks my language. And when you're a broadcaster, you need to be able to curate the songs, create the content that continues that personalized feel, even though we're broadcasters. And you don't want to do that in a way that alienates lots of people, because then we'd be a station of only 1.3 million people if we only spoke to 15 to 24-year-olds. So the tightrope I'm walking is creating a service that we know does well for 15 to 24-year-olds, but without taking the eye off the ball of, is a 35-year-old liking this? Is a 55-year-old interested in this? That's how you get your mass scale and 8 million listeners, but we don't focus on what a 45-year-old wants, we focus on what a 15 to 24-year-old wants. And so far it's working, but we'll see what happens in the future.
And it's a challenge, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you.